Welcome to part one of our Toyota production system journey, Lean, Kaizen, and continuous improvement in action. In this first part, we'll explore the foundations of TPS, lean thinking, Kaizen, waste elimination, Jidoka, and just-in-time. You'll see how these principles are applied in real-life operations to optimize workflows, improve quality, reduce waste, and create smoother processes. Most factories chase speed by pushing people harder. Toyota chose a smarter path. Design a system where problems become visible and work flows smoothly. That system is TPS, the Toyota Production System. It combines just-in-time, Jidoka, standard work, and continuous improvement. The goal is not simply to produce more cars. The goal is to deliver value with less waste, better quality, shorter lead time, and more respect for people. TPS is not a tool. It is a way of thinking. Imagine TPS as a house. The roof is the goal. Best quality, lowest cost, shortest lead time, and safety. The two pillars are just-in-time and Jidoka. The foundation is stability, standard work, heijunka, and respect for people. Without the foundation, the pillars collapse. Without the pillars, the roof has no support. This is why copying Toyota tools without building the culture rarely works. TPS succeeds when every part of the house supports learning, flow, and problem solving. Just-in-time does not mean rushing at the last second. It means producing the right item in the right quantity at the right time. In TPS, inventory is not treated as safety. It is treated as a signal. Too much inventory hides problems, like delays, defects, and poor planning. Just-in-time makes those problems visible so teams can solve them. The result is a system that moves with customer demand, reduces waiting, and avoids producing work that nobody needs yet. Many companies fear stopping the line. Toyota learned that stopping for the right reason can protect the entire system. Jidoka means built-in quality. When an abnormality appears, the process signals the problem, stops when needed, and allows people to fix the root cause. The purpose is not punishment. The purpose is learning. A defect found early is cheaper and safer than a defect hidden until the customer discovers it. In TPS, quality is created inside the process, not inspected at the end. Kanban is not just a card. It is a communication system. It tells a process what to make, when to make it, and how much to make. In a push system, work is released because a plan says so. In a pull system, work is triggered by real demand from the next process. Kanban helps prevent overproduction, one of the worst wastes in TPS. When used correctly, it creates rhythm, visibility, and discipline across the production flow. Kaizen does not mean one big project every year. It means small, steady improvements made by the people closest to the work. In TPS, workers are not expected to simply follow orders. They are encouraged to observe, question, test, and improve. A tiny improvement in motion, layout, safety, or quality may look small today. Repeated daily, it becomes a powerful advantage. Kaizen is the habit of refusing to accept waste as normal. TPS is often described as a system of tools, but its deepest principle is respect for people. Respect does not mean being nice while keeping the old problems. It means developing people so they can solve problems, improve their work, and make better decisions. Leaders go to the Gemba, ask questions, listen carefully, and remove obstacles. In TPS, people are not just labor, they are thinkers. The system improves because people grow. TPS teaches us to see waste clearly. The classic 7 wastes are overproduction, waiting, transport, overprocessing, inventory, motion, and defects. Some teams also add unused human creativity as an 8th waste. Waste is anything that consumes time, money, energy, or space without adding value for the customer. Once you see waste, you cannot unsee it. A walk through any process becomes a search for hidden delays, unnecessary movement, and avoidable errors. Toyota considers overproduction the worst waste because it creates many other wastes. When you make too much too early, you need storage, transport, extra counting, extra handling, and sometimes rework. Inventory grows, problems stay hidden, and cash is trapped. TPS fights overproduction through pull systems, takt time, small batches, and clear signals. Producing more than needed may look productive, but in reality, it can make the whole system slower. Takt time is the rhythm of customer demand. If customers need 240 units in an 8-hour shift, the process must complete 1 unit every 2 minutes. Takt time does not magically make work easier. It gives the team a clear beat to design around. If the process is slower than takt, customers wait. If it is faster without demand, inventory grows. TPS uses takt time to connect daily work with real customer need. Some people think standard work removes creativity. In TPS, it does the opposite. Standard work captures the current best-known method, so everyone can see it, teach it, and improve it. Without a standard, every person works differently, and problems become hard to diagnose. With a standard, abnormality becomes visible. Then the team can improve the method together. Standard work is not the final answer. It is the starting point for Kaizen. Jidoka means leveling production. Instead of making huge batches that create peaks and valleys, TPS tries to smooth the mix and volume of work. Leveling reduces stress on people, machines, and suppliers. It also makes problems easier to see because the system is not constantly jumping between extremes. Jidoka is not always easy, especially when demand changes. But without some leveling, flow becomes unstable and improvement becomes much harder. An andon is a visual signal that shows when help is needed. It can be a light, a sound, a screen, or a simple marker. The important part is not the technology. The important part is the behavior it creates. When a worker sees a problem, they signal early. A leader responds quickly. The team fixes the issue before it becomes bigger. Andon turns hidden struggle into shared problem solving. Genchi Genbutsu means go and see for yourself. In TPS, decisions should not be made only from offices, reports, or assumptions. Leaders go to the actual place where work happens. They observe the actual process, talk to the actual people, and study the actual facts. This prevents shallow solutions. A spreadsheet may show that output is low, but the Gemba reveals why. Layout, waiting, missing tools, unclear standards, or quality issues. When a problem appears, it is tempting to blame the first visible cause. TPS encourages deeper thinking with the 5 whys. Ask why the problem happened, then ask why again, and keep going until the root cause becomes clearer. The number 5 is not magic. The discipline is what matters. The goal is to move from symptoms to system causes. When the root cause is fixed, the same problem is less likely to return. Pokayuke means designing the process so mistakes are prevented or immediately detected. A connector that only fits one way, a sensor that confirms a part is present, or a checklist that blocks a missed step can all be Pokayuke. TPS does not rely only on people trying harder. It designs work so the right action is easier and the wrong action is difficult. Good Pokayuke protects customers and workers at the same time. One-piece flow means moving products or tasks one at a time through the process instead of waiting for big batches. The benefit is speed, visibility, and quality. If a defect appears, you discover it quickly. If work is blocked, you see it immediately. Batches can feel efficient because machines stay busy, but customers do not buy machine utilization. They value completed work. TPS uses flow to shorten the distance between start and finish. In push production, work is released based on forecasts and schedules. In pull production, work starts because the next step or customer needs it. Push can create piles of inventory, long queues, and confusion. Pull limits work in progress and makes demand visible. TPS does not ignore planning, but it prevents planning from flooding the system. Pull is powerful because it connects production to real consumption instead of hopeful prediction. Many people know muda, or waste. TPS also focuses on mura and muri. Mura means unevenness, like sudden peaks and valleys in workload. Muri means overburden, when people or machines are pushed beyond a healthy limit. Mura often creates mori, and both create muda. Toyota's system tries to stabilize work before demanding improvement. A process full of unevenness and overburden cannot produce reliable quality for long. SMED stands for Single Minute Exchange of Die. The idea is to reduce changeover time, so smaller batches become practical. TPS separates internal setup, which must happen while a machine is stopped, from external setup, which can be prepared while it is running. Then teams simplify, organize, and standardize the steps. Faster changeovers are not only about speed. They create flexibility, reduce inventory, and help the system respond to customers. An A3 is more than a sheet of paper. It is a thinking process. It guides a team to define the problem, understand the current condition, identify root causes, propose countermeasures, test results, and follow up. The format forces clarity. If the problem cannot be explained simply, the thinking is probably not clear enough. In TPS, A3 problem-solving develops people while improving the process. Visual management makes the condition of the process easy to understand at a glance. Are we on schedule? Is quality stable? Is help needed? Are materials available? In TPS, visual signals reduce guessing and long meetings. A good visual system shows the gap between standard and reality immediately. The goal is not decoration. The goal is faster learning, faster response, and better alignment for everyone working in the area. Quality at the source means every step is responsible for producing good work, not passing defects forward. Instead of inspecting quality only at the end, TPS builds checks into the process. Workers can confirm key conditions, use mistake proofing, and stop when something is wrong. This protects downstream processes and customers. The mindset is simple. Do not accept defects, do not make defects, and do not pass defects on. 5S is often taught as cleaning, but in TPS it is much deeper. Sort removes what is not needed. Set in order makes what is needed easy to find. Shine reveals abnormalities. Standardize keeps the method consistent. Sustain builds discipline. A clean workplace is useful, but the real value is visibility. When tools, materials, and information have a clear place, problems stand out and work becomes safer. Inventory can feel comforting. It covers late deliveries, machine breakdowns, quality defects, and planning errors. TPS sees inventory differently. It is often a symptom of unresolved problems. Like water hiding rocks in a river, excess stock hides obstacles in the process. Reducing inventory carefully exposes those rocks so teams can remove them. The goal is not zero inventory at any cost. The goal is healthy flow with visible problems. A Gemba walk is not a tour, inspection, or blame session. It is a leadership practice for understanding real work. The leader observes the process, compares reality with the standard, asks respectful questions, and supports problem solving. The best questions are simple. What should be happening? What is actually happening? What is the gap? What help do you need? In TPS, leaders learn by going where value is created. TPS requires a different kind of leadership. The leader is not only the person with answers. The leader is a coach who develops problem solvers. Instead of saying, do this, they ask, what is the problem? What evidence do we have? What experiment can we try? This style may feel slower at first, but it builds capability. Toyota wins because improvement is not limited to a few experts. In many workplaces, stopping production is seen as failure. In TPS, stopping for quality can be a sign of strength. It means the team refuses to pass problems forward. Of course, the goal is not to stop constantly. The goal is to learn from every stop and make the process better. A healthy line stop culture requires trust. Workers must know that raising problems will bring support, not blame. TPS starts with the customer. Value is not what the company enjoys doing. Value is what the customer is willing to receive and pay for. Every process should ask, does this step transform the product or service in a way the customer needs? If not, why are we doing it? This question can be uncomfortable, but it helps teams separate real value from tradition, habit, and internal convenience. Toyota's production system does not stop at the factory door. Suppliers are part of the flow. TPS encourages long-term relationships, clear standards, frequent communication, and joint problem-solving. When companies treat suppliers only as price targets, they often create hidden risk. When they develop suppliers as partners, quality and delivery improve together. A strong supply chain is not built by pressure alone. It is built by shared learning. Hoshin Kanri connects strategy with daily improvement. Big goals become focused priorities, and those priorities become measurable actions at each level of the organization. Without alignment, teams improve locally, but the company may not move in the right direction. Hoshin creates a clear line between long-term direction and daily Kaizen. TPS is not random improvement. It is improvement guided by purpose. Daily management keeps TPS alive. Teams review yesterday's performance, today's plan, safety, quality, delivery, and problems that need help. The meeting is short, visual, and focused on action. The purpose is not reporting for reporting's sake. The purpose is to close gaps quickly and learn every day. When daily management is strong, problems do not wait for monthly reviews. They are addressed while they are still small. Toyota Kata describes the routine of improvement and coaching. First, understand the direction. Then, grasp the current condition. Next, define the next target condition. Finally, run experiments toward that target. The key word is experiment. Instead of pretending to know the perfect solution, the team learns through small tests. This is how TPS turns uncertainty into progress. Improvement becomes a practiced routine, not a random event. TPS is not only for car factories. In a hospital, the same ideas can reduce waiting, errors, and stress. Imagine medication prepared with clear visual signals, patient rooms stocked to standard, and nurses involved in improving workflows. The goal is not to make healthcare feel like an assembly line. The goal is to remove waste, so professionals spend more time caring for patients. TPS adapts when the purpose is clear. A busy restaurant can teach TPS very clearly. If ingredients are disorganized, cooks waste motion. If orders are pushed too early, food gets cold. If defects reach customers, trust is lost. A TPS kitchen would use standard prep, visual inventory, pull from actual orders, quick response to problems, and daily Kaizen. The result is not robotic cooking. It is calmer work, faster service, and more consistent quality. Software teams can learn from TPS, even though they do not build cars. Work in progress is inventory. Bugs are defects. Waiting for approvals is delay. Large releases create batch risk. A pull system, smaller work items, visual boards, root cause analysis, and continuous improvement can improve flow. The point is not to force factory language onto developers. The point is to make invisible work visible and improve how value moves. Lead time is the time from request to delivery. TPS focuses intensely on reducing lead time because it reveals the health of the whole system. Long lead time often includes waiting, batching, rework, transport, and unclear decisions. Short lead time does not come from rushing people. It comes from redesigning flow. When lead time drops, customers get value faster, problems surface sooner, and the business becomes more flexible. Defects are expensive, even when they seem small. They create rework, delays, extra inspection, customer complaints, warranty costs, and lost trust. TPS attacks poor quality by building prevention into the process. The earlier a defect is found, the easier it is to fix. The best defect is the one that never happens. Quality is not a department at the end of the line. It is a responsibility designed into every step. Many companies copy Toyota tools and feel disappointed. They install Kanban boards, paint lines on the floor, and run Kaizen events. But TPS is not a collection of decorations. The hard part is the thinking behind the tools. Respect for people, disciplined standards, problem visibility, root cause analysis, and leader coaching. Copying the shape is easy. Building the behavior is hard. That is why TPS remains powerful decades later. The first mistake is using TPS to pressure people instead of improving systems. The second is launching tools without teaching the thinking. The third is chasing cost reduction while ignoring quality and safety. The fourth is treating standards as permanent rules instead of improvement baselines. TPS fails when it becomes a slogan. It works when leaders go to the Gemba, respect people, and solve real problems every day. TPS uses metrics to learn, not to hide problems. Safety, quality, delivery, cost, and morale are connected. If a team improves cost while safety gets worse, that is not real improvement. If output rises but defects increase, the system is unstable. Good metrics show gaps early and guide action. They should be visible, simple, and close to the work. In TPS, numbers are the beginning of a conversation, not the end. A company trapped in firefighting spends every day reacting. Machines fail, parts are missing, priorities change, and people rush. TPS offers a path out. First, stabilize the process. Then, create standards. Then, make problems visible. Then, solve root causes one by one. Flow does not appear overnight. It is built through disciplined learning. The reward is a workplace where fewer emergencies happen because the system becomes stronger. Large batches can look efficient because changeovers happen less often, but they also create waiting, inventory, delayed feedback, and bigger quality risks. TPS favors smaller batches when possible because they improve flow and flexibility. Smaller batches help teams discover problems faster and respond to changing demand. The secret is not simply reducing batch size. It is improving changeovers, standards, and pull signals so small batches become practical. TPS is a production system, but it is also a learning system. Every abnormality is information. Every gap between standard and reality is a chance to improve. Every worker can contribute ideas. Every leader can coach deeper thinking. This is why TPS keeps evolving. It does not depend only on one genius plan. It creates thousands of small learning moments across the organization. Artificial intelligence can support TPS, but it cannot replace TPS thinking. AI may predict demand, detect defects, optimize schedules, or analyze downtime patterns. But if leaders ignore the Gemba, blame people, or hide problems, technology will only make bad habits faster. The best future combines digital tools with Toyota principles: respect for people, flow, built-in quality, and continuous improvement. AI should amplify learning, not replace it. In a warehouse, TPS can reduce walking, searching, picking errors, and waiting. Visual locations, standard routes, Kanban replenishment, error-proof scanning, and balanced workloads all support better flow. The customer may never see the warehouse, but they feel the result through faster delivery and fewer mistakes. TPS reminds us that logistics is not just movement, it is the design of flow from demand to delivery. In these scenes, you've seen how TPS optimizes workflows, the importance of continuous improvement, real-life applications of Jidoka and just-in-time, practical tips to reduce waste and boost productivity. Each scene brought a step closer to mastering lean thinking and understanding the power of process improvement in real situations. Fire teaser for Part 2, 30-40 seconds? But this is just the beginning. Part 2 is coming soon, diving deeper into flow, pull systems, standardized work, visual management, team collaboration, and problem-solving culture. Target CTA 40 to 50 seconds? Don't miss it. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to keep learning for Rise. Part 2 will push your knowledge further and help you apply TPS like a pro. "40 scenes of TPS, Lean principles, and Kaizen, all packed into real-life action. You've seen workflows optimized, waste eliminated, Jidoka and just-in-time in action, and continuous improvement in every step. Part 2 is coming. Get ready for flow, pull systems, standardized work, visual management, team collaboration, problem-solving culture, everything to master TPS fully.